Hello everyone.
Hey everybody.
Here we are back at the salon with Kristen and baby number 4.
And baby, you guys might think I'm nuts. I've got a lot of very creative questions about how are you going to survive number 4?
She doesn't know. Nobody knows, right?
No.
Until the baby comes.
That's
and
right.
You just figure it out.
But you just wing it. You know, I tell this, I actually say it's not me I'm not worried about the baby part at all. I was like, it's actually my life, work, home balance that I worry about.
Right. And speaking of which,
yes,
as a result,
yes,
she is going to be cutting back on hair cutting and
yes,
all of that. So
yeah,
unfortunately,
I'm sorry, but I would love to help you out in tips. So that's why today we're gonna kind of give you a little fresh video.
I told her we better do one more video before she goes on maternity leave. Right. So you can take this video and it hopefully will help you with your stylist. We are, by the way, in Southern California.
Yes.
So
we're in the heat of the summer.
Oh my goodness.
It's hot. Hot tamale.
Hot. So hot. Yes, it is. So we are doing color and cut today, and I've asked Kristen just to kind of give an overview of things that she's covered in other videos. We're going to try and kind of condense it all into this video, and we're going to kind of change up the color slightly today than last time. So she can explain kind of what we're going to do and what the colors are she uses and how she achieves this blonde and what my dark color is.
Sure. So the great thing is Shirley has a really nice ashy brown color, and it is a bit dark. Like she's like, when I say level 5, that's tricky. A hairdresser would know that, but like a kind of a 5 ash. So she's not like, there's no warmth in there. Granted, she takes, I have noticed, I was sharing with her, I think before, she's taking longer to lift. And I think too, we are also trying to make her as white as possible in regard to her, when we tone. So her natural color is actually the dark color that you see. So I don't actually put anything on her, which is probably why she gets, not even probably, it's why she gets as light as she does. When you have someone who colors a base color and then throws highlights, oftentimes you don't get as light because of the fact that you're not only lifting the natural hair that's underneath the permanent color underneath or demi-permanent, whatever, but it's because of the fact that you've already, artificial color is already on the hair. So you're kind of like double whammying it. So today what we are going to do with her is we did do lots of like heavy, just fine highlights last time. I think you were a little dark, so I think we went through and heavily highlighted you. So I will kind of maintain this. As far as cut goes, we are actually not that long and grown out from the last time. So we're gonna just kind of go and maintain like texturizing through there, but we can talk about that later. But in the crown area in the back, probably going to maintain, as you can see the depth at her root here. So I will just kind of go through, and I'm really weird. I don't like to see these little lines. So I will do real fine highlights, like little baby lights for the hairdresser knowledge out there, all around the perimeter so that they blend nicely with her. Obviously we do this dramatic dark to light, but I don't like to see like stripes when she lays over. So then as I go up, I will probably do a little chunkier highlighting, and then as we move to the front, she expressed that like through here, her length is fine. So what I am liking seeing how she has a bit of like the depth here, which is her, again, her natural color. And so what we're going to go for is, because she likes how blonde she is, but we're gonna go for a little more defined, like a little chunky. So what that means is, so if you're gonna do like a little highlight, I'll probably take like 2 to 3 what's the best way to say it? Like thickness of a normal highlight. So I just kind of take it a little chunkier, and then I kind of do like a slice. So that way it will be just this natural little weave. So that's how we kind of achieve that. But with that, I might take a couple like thin slices to achieve the lightest possible, because if you take too much chunky, like too chunky of a highlight, the lightener won't penetrate enough to possibly get, it could, but you kind of shoot in the dark, so
and you could have some like little gold kind of spots or something.
Totally. And we're not trying to do the gold. And I use her lightener. I still use Wella Blondor I actually go with 40 because she is getting harder and harder to lift. I know some may say that's too much, but maybe someone can leave and do something different, but for me, that's what I use on her. And then I will go ahead and probably tone her. She's really liking this, like we're liking the icy, right? Yeah. So I'll probably do like more of the 9B and probably a 10VV from REDKEN Shades. That's what I'm thinking right now. So that's before the process. So,
Okay, here
all
we
right.
go. We're gonna start with a little bit of undercut.
Yeah.
And so you're using guard number,
This is number 3.
which is 3/8 inch.
It
also,
actually
or what
is it is a 3/8. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Memory. I didn't
Well,
even
you know,
that.
I had to look it up online because I've been asked that question a lot. So.
I think we should just give Shirley like a doll and just have her start doing it.
Right, there we go. Have a little fun.
No, I mean, actually, I kind of like it. It challenges me to know my verbiage a bit, also. So here in the back with her undercut, we're going to keep it a little bit more. I'm not going to take it up as high here because we are interested in possibly changing up a bit of her, where the disconnect from where you see so much blonde to the dark. So we might add a little bit of like we'll just call it kind of a U, not V, but kind of a U shape.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
being that you can see the color here, again, that's all hers. I think that it will just say, you're not going to notice that it's a little longer up above.
Yeah.
Due to the
That's
color
right, 'cause it's
similarity.
dark.
Yeah. Whereas if we were going to be cutting into the blonde, that's when you start to notice like, oh, they did something a little different there.
Got to give you something to look for.
I
too,
agree.
right?
It's good. I've learned a lot of doing these little, and not just with you. I've actually had a couple other short-haired customers who have been brought to me from you,
Oh yeah.
who have also had their own little twist, and I like it because it kind of pushes me out of maybe what my comfort zone is.
Yes.
And I'm a little more of a safer stylist. Some may be way more adventurous, but I like to crawl before I walk a bit. So,
And I think that's why I trust you with clippers in your hand.
right? We didn't start out this way.
No.
Not in a bad way, but we did clip first, you know?
Yeah, we I have the video when she pulled out the clippers the first time. And the look of sheer terror on my face. You can have a good laugh at that.
That would be kind of funny. I mean, I would be nervous, like, so I completely see how.
Right.
I always share that there's some. I think I've said this on some of your videos as well, that there is something about cutting up around an ear, like.
Yes.
And although we have done it for a long time, even with your other style, I think to some moderation, but when you get those clippers out and are literally taking them, it is
And that
something
ear
about
is
that.
fully exposed.
Yeah.
Liking that kind of
The V?
Yeah, but with a rounded like bottom. So
Perfect.
yeah.
So we will take that a little bit. I always use my comb kind of as a bit of a guide there. And then I kind of just round that out there. Yeah, that way it kind of, does it help with the grow out when you kind of get rid of this stuff?
Yes. And then if I decide to trim it up, like maintain it myself, it's easy because I can find that line. Right. And go, okay, because I'm doing it backwards in the mirror. It's a little scary.
That's another I credit you. So being that she and I are going to try to grow this into a little bit, like I said, a U. So in other words, a little longer in her darker color here. I'm going to do, again, some real little fine ones. And when I say like some, I mean like literally 1 or 2 foils. I actually, because I don't want to go too short, I can foil these pretty well. But when you go to where you have like no length, like I can probably foil like about 1 inch.
Yeah, she's good. She can do
Which
short
is
hair.
tricky, yeah. So some probably think I'm nuts and like, why in the world would you ever want to do that? But I don't mind it. But you just put these little couple baby lights, probably 2 or 3 foils on the bottom to help again give that like more of that blended like line at the bottom. So you kind of want that heavier blonding look against that dark hair for the hairdressers out there listening.
And it really makes a difference. I've had people ask how in the world I get highlights back there.
Yeah, well, and you know, there's another way. Some you know may look at this and go, well, why isn't she, just because she does such a heavy highlight, why it would be so much easier to just put bleach on the scalp, and it would, like it really would, but you with that you don't get as much dimension, like and she's able to go 3 haircuts without having to retouch, whereas if you were to do bleach on the scalp, not only do you have this solid line growing out, and you'd have to retouch probably about every 2 times if you really like the depth.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different, you know, again, that's a whole different deal, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I love it. I love the way you do it.
Thank you.
I know it takes amazing skill. And as everybody says, you are amazing.
I wish I could just help. I wish I could have like somebody else and be like, hey, can you help me out? We could help all these clients out there, you know? So this is about how much she has regrown. I am taking some chunky pieces again back here. So she's got a good like 1.25 inches. And again, they're so blended that it's not like you sit and see them. I am gonna make up, I'm gonna kind of alternate. I'm gonna go fine, but I'm also gonna, going to do a little bit more little chunky too, highlight in there. So that way you get a little bit more pop of blonde coverage, because moving towards the front, being that we're gonna do a little bit more chunks, I think this will help kind of blend all that together from the back to the front. And again, she is so blonde already, like on her ends, like you can see how light she is. She's pretty good. And I just kind of paint some of those little ends there. So this is where she kind of pops up. As you can see, that's previously styled like that. So again, I want to maintain a little bit of that dark. So I'm not gonna go like so blonde here. I took kind of a bit of a thicker one. And yep, this is when it gets a little fun because it is a bit shorter. So I use usually a little clip there to help hold it up. And keep everything real clean, like in anything, but that does all help. And I'll probably take this one a little finer. And then, again, it's a little hand coordination there.
You need a third hand. You
I
really
know.
do.
It might get in the way. No.
Yeah, exactly. You get it down with just 2.
This is a little bit why I do mix my lightener a little thicker, because as you can see, I paint it and then it's stuck.
It sticks to the foil. That's good.
So that is a trick
tip.
as far as this application goes. It may take a little longer to lift because it's not super. It's not like, we're not at like clay balayage consistency. Like this is more of just a little thicker to keep it on. It's not like yogurt. It's a little more Greek yogurt. I hope everybody can.
That's good. That's good. That's a good way to differentiate between the two.
Right. So again here, I'm not going again as heavy due to the fact that last time we did. So.
Hey, look at that dark.
Right?
Look at that dark.
And yet she still has a good, you know, like a seamless, like pretty seamless blend. And these are over different applications. So
Yeah,
again,
it's true. That's, yeah.
and you don't want to go, my trick is don't go all the way to the root until you get the bulk of the bleach on, and then you can paint. Then I always make sure I go in the back. The charm, I had gone to a Paul Mitchell class years ago, and they said, I kind of loved it because it's called a holiday, which is a bleed spot, which we totally don't want. But the way they called it a holiday, I thought it's so true, because you just kind of go away for a second.
You too. I'm like, oh, whoops.
Those aren't good.
Totally missed that.
Yeah. So on the front here, I will probably, due to the fact that she kind of varies where she parts, so I am going to go a little deeper. The trick that gets hard here is if you go too down, like to where the flat part of the head starts to round so much, you really have to make sure you're flattening that foil to the head. Otherwise what happens is I get a lot of clients will be like, I don't know how you get so close to the regrowth. I've had them done and they don't, they have a line of demarcation when they leave. And obviously that's not what, if that's not what you're going for, you're not going for the ombre.
Right, that's right. So
that's not a happy place.
It's not a happy place.
So I just take this angle, and again with her natural color, again that's all her. No, there's no pre-light or no dark base applied beforehand or anything, which is why she can get so light. That I think she gets that asked a lot. But if I was combating a root color,
Right,
we probably would be a bit more challenged. And in addition, your hair might be a bit more compromised due to the fact of having to leave on the lightener longer.
Oh, true.
Stuff like that.
But what you're doing right now, I think is really the other part of my hair that allows me to go 3 months without color retouch, because I don't have that straight line of demarcation of grow out.
Right.
So
I do like to foil always at a bit of it, like a little bit of it. I just try to take their hairline, or a client's hairline, and you kind of go off of that. That way, kind of like a money piece when you're doing a balayage, for many of the people who are doing that a lot. It's kind of like you take it where they're going to be throwing their hair back. Well, I take this part just so that she can have where she naturally kind of falls. And not that she does a hard part line, because she doesn't. Take my foils a little bit wider there, as you can see. And then here.
this is called blind film work.
You look like, this is my hair, hi.
I'm like, I have no idea. I could be pointing at the window.
Right.
No idea.
You're doing good. That's a good spot.
I was gonna say, you just move it if you need to.
No, you're good actually. So I did heavy around the front. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a little bit more of a space. Why am I doing that? Because we want to give, again, that we're going to go a little chunkier, but I also want to leave a little bit of that dark going through there. So that's where, as you can see, this is the remnants. And I don't apply right to the roots until I feather them up towards the end, because otherwise you get those bleed. So it's on the foil when I do a slice, and then you might take just a little bit more. Because the lightener tends to it may some swell, but it just kind of, it could leave a bleed mark if it's not a full saturation. So right here, as you can see, you get like a dark section right here. So what I do is I'm going to not, I'm trying to maintain, I'll flip that one back. I'm going to add a little baby light through here, only because this is, I think I sliced this one last time. And then the following one, I'm going to go ahead and add a slice. Only because she's blonde enough on the one prior. But I don't want, if I don't do anything, then when she grows out, it'll be kind of like a big ordeal. It will be winter, so maybe she'll be wanting a little bit more, not so much light, you know?
Right. We just don't know.
We just don't know.
That's 3 months away.
On the last one, but so we've been kind of growing this front just a little bit. The other side she actually had a little more progress. It's probably because I probably trimmed this one a little bit more last time or something but what I would probably do is I'm kind of okay looking at her, and when this is so short, I think I'll give her one more time before I start to try to foil that. So if you're kind of dealing with something similar, like someone's trying to grow out a little bit of length, you know, don't pressure yourself to like, oh, I gotta foil this because it's so close to the face. Like, it blends enough with her rest of her side that you won't really see that density, you know, change there.
That's true.
Whereas as soon as you can, throw a highlight though right after that.
Right. Unless, you know, I just decide I'm gonna go like dark or red
Right.
or something. No.
I was thinking about your purple journey yesterday. Actually, it's so funny after you texted me.
Yeah.
All right, so now we will just, as you can see, here she is. And then probably what we'll do is I will go and put her under the dryer because she does take me she takes a while. So
Yeah, do you start like 20 minutes or I've had
20 is probably a good start, and then what I'll probably do is kind of check you, and then but I do feel like she's kind of in the like 30, which I know some would say 30 with 40 volume, 30 minutes with 40 volume underneath the heater. You're nuts, but it's what she does,
My
and that's
hair is
why
nuts.
she's so blonde. But she does caretake with, you know, the great, like, good products and things like that. So, hey guys, so we're at the point where, so I ended up, she processed for about 20, and then I actually turned on another like 20, and then I probably, like, it's crazy under the heater. So just to give you an idea. So this is what she ends up looking like. You can see, like, it's very, very white. If we don't get to the white, which I'm sure anybody blonding, especially like in the front is where we obviously really care about. We want it to be super, super bright. So very pale banana.
Yeah, that's a good way to tell.
That's actually what they tell us in school.
Is that really?
They did with
that
me at
makes
least.
sense. I totally understand that.
But even on the lighter side of the paler banana.
Right. That's a good idea. I like
So,
it.
and then I did end up mixing her toner, and I did half 10 VV from REDKEN Shades with half 9B.
And 9B is in blue,
B is in
right?
blue, yeah.
Okay.
So
Nice.
the B for me, I like a little bit of that, adds a little bit of that silvery in case there is a little bit of warmth. The VV, obviously, it's a double VV, but it also keeps it lighter. So I like the level 9 because it adds a little bit of depth to it, but the 10 gives it that double punch of the violet. So that's a newer shade, and I really am happy with it. So hi. Here she is. So the good news is when you see cool, when someone's wet, it's a great sign for the future.
Right,
when
it can only get warmer.
Right, and when it, yes, like whereas like there's been times through my experience where you see a little gold and you're like, oh, that's not what I want, especially in this world of everybody wanting to be cool. But no, so you can see she looks really nice and cool. And again, I mean, obviously she's not dry, but you can still see some dark through there, nice and bright in the front. So currently we're just going to go through, and I'll probably just trim it up a little through here. Shirley, we talked about earlier, we kind of like, she said she really felt this is kind of our trim time. Last time we kind of cut this all pretty short. So I think we're just going to trim up the front, and we have found that probably due to the extra processing, not only the time, but the volume. The front, if I do too much texturizing, even with her thicker hair, I can do it everywhere else, but around her face, we like it a little bit more scissor cut and maybe slightly texturized, but not much. It ends up getting like kind of flippy, and if we leave these ends a little too fine, we like them a little bit heavier. So we're just going to trim all that up. Okay. So as you can kind of tell, I've been just kind of going through here, and I just like, sounds kind of cheesy, I just feel, and if I feel something that feels a little thick, because she does have thick hair, obviously you can see under here, we've already trimmed all that up. I do like doing it before because it's just a clean slate. When we get to this point, I can really just focus on the density on top and whatever we might be doing. But over here, I feel like we're feeling pretty darn good everywhere. So sometimes in this interim, we find that we cut more on one time and then we trim the next. But then by the time she comes back next time, I feel like we're like, okay, we really need trim.
We really need trim. Yeah.
I try to make sure we get enough, you know, in the interim.
Yeah.
So this is the Kenra root lifting, and honestly, I didn't really use this, and I think Shirley told me she used it, and I'm just like not a huge product user. I like less is more. I think that's from my own experience because I go many days without washing, so thus I think I tailor everybody else's like they think the same way. But with that, this is the root lift from Kenra. But I feel like we could take
Like almost maybe
Like,
even
seriously,
just
amazing.
layered
I'm
up.
obsessed
Yeah.
with that.
Like
But
yeah,
kids, and it's just not in my like
Yeah,
priority.
that's okay.
Unfortunately, right now, like. But if it was, I would
That's
be so beautifying. You
Better.
know, just
you gotta
because
leave it to the
couple little
professionals.
snips.
Trying to prevent me from bringing out my own scissors.
we try not.
Right. Like, please don't.
Right?
Now she's going in with Enjoy Dry Wax, which
Is the main jam, that's right. See?
all her me talking
For real,
about.
it really is this, so that everybody really knows.
It is. It's magic.
Right, it is. And it is tricky because because it's so concentrated, like you can very quickly use too much.
Yeah.
So always build upon your little amount that you may need because.
Little bits at a time.
But I mean, it's amazing how it doesn't need much.